Hey, welcome to today's episode of Hooked on Mortgages. My name is Matt Barkett. I'm be hosting today's episode, and I have a special guest, Edgar Triana.
Yes, sir.
How we doing, Edgar?
Good, good. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here.
So, why don't you give everybody a little background on you, where you're from, what you've been doing the last few years in regards to real estate?
Yeah. Well, I've been in the business for over 20 some years.
Not to age yourself, obviously.
Yeah, not well. I sure did, but I was a really young
Hustler.
agent, and at first that was difficult. That was very difficult at
Sure.
first. People didn't take you serious when you're 19, 20 years old, signing contracts. People don't trust you. So so yeah, I've been a real estate agent. I've been a mortgage broker, um, and, and and I've done well.
Notary
And
as well. So I know you got a couple hats that you wear, but before we start getting into the crazy stuff, I know you had a little crazy incident the last couple weeks ago. Why don't we go a little into that just to kind of hear
oh
your
yeah,
story about this
yeah,
one?
yeah. I got had that cough that didn't go away.
Yeah, I feel like everybody was sick for a little bit, but why don't you
Yeah.
go into kind of a
It,
short story as to what happened?
well, a cough that didn't go away turned to pneumonia, turned to operating your lung. I was in ICU for like a month. It was not fun. It was not fun, but I'm back. I'm gonna make 100% full recovery, and I'm glad to be back. I'm
Yeah,
glad to be back.
glad.
'Cause you take things for granted after you go through a scare like that.
Oh, 100%, 100%. So just to kind of look at what's obviously now that you're back, you're looking in the market. What's kind of your foresight? What do you see going on right now with buyers, sellers? Any sort of specific programs that you're focusing on or that you like or foresee coming up in the future?
Yeah. Well, just recently I see a little motivation in the whole economy about to start. I see a lot of positive things happening right now towards the end of the year. The holidays, people tend to check out for say, not only the buyers but the whole industry. Realtors check out usually for the month of December. Title companies are partying. Everyone has their office party, so there's not a lot of deals getting done. Also, the interest rates are higher, and that slows things down for us at least. It could be a good opportunity if you're really, really in the market to get into it right now. You might be able to get a good deal because sellers might be willing to drop the pricing.
100%. I mean, I also think too we got that Fed meeting coming up in December.
Yep,
Might see another quarter point cut. We'll
yep,
see.
yep.
Don't hold me to it on that one. But and what you're saying in regards to sales prices coming down or at least being used for seller contribution, and another one people are haven't. I feel like I haven't heard it as much, but people are still using is the 2-1 buy downs. So I think that's a case by
Yeah,
case for
the
people.
2-1, the 3-2-1 buy down.
Yeah, that's a lot of credit.
Um, Sellers are willing to pay for that, and buyers are taking advantage because they will be in the market for a refinance for sure within the next 2 years.
No, definitely. I mean,
Hopefully,
I think one of the things too is that people, especially that don't have the money or don't think that they can afford to purchase,
yeah,
is a lot of people aren't taking advantage of some of the grants and DPAs that are out there.
definitely.
There are some out there. I mean, we can get as little as 5,500. And there's some up to like 40,000,
Yes,
depending
yeah,
on the county. So I think it's something that a lot of people aren't taking advantage of, or
yeah,
at least not doing their homework, or at least reaching out to people, reaching out to the right people to
yeah. A
get that
a lot
information.
of knowledge is king. You need to get with the right person who could assess you the right way and tell you what are the products that are available. For example, Hometown Heroes got hot towards the end,
It's gone,
and it was gone pretty fast. But that's something that a lot of mortgage brokers weren't using. A lot of platform banks weren't using that. If you, for example, you went to get a loan at Regions Bank, they weren't taking advantage of Hometown Heroes. There are a lot of other programs. There's county programs. I don't know, HAP or MAP. Those are still available, and they're going to continue to be available. They're a little more tricky, but independent lenders that we have are changing from 5,000 to 10,000 on conventional loans. Those are grants that you don't have to pay back. There are other credits that you could be on the hook if you sell.
Yeah, it's something to speak about. But there are a couple of county programs I know that you can get 10,000 right now, and you stay in the property for 5 years. Yep. It goes away. So we have the grants, the $5,500 grant, $6,500 grant. There is a $35,000 DPA out there as well, which we're working on as well. But I mean, I guess what's your forecast? Obviously, everybody thinks rates are going to be coming down.
Yeah, from my experience, when I have a buyer that's on the fence, my experience is to tell them to go ahead and just do it. Because if you start waiting for this to go down, for that to happen, for the timing to be right, it's never going to happen. You're going to be, regretting it 2-3 years down the line, be like, damn, I should have made the move
100%.
in 2024. Now it's 2029, and things are crazy.
Definitely. I mean, I think one of the things too that we're seeing a lot of is a lot of people holding on to rates and holding on to a lot of debt longer than they should have. There's definitely a lot of refinances that need to be taken advantage of now, whether it's a line of credit, paying off debt, or first paying off debt. But I mean, I've personally had a couple clients who waited too long, and I was unfortunately, they put themselves in a really bad situation.
Yeah. Some deals are falling apart because of that.
Yeah.
You're waiting for the rates to come down, and they're going up.
Well, yeah. I mean, it comes to the point where people it goes from they can't afford to pay their bills to now they got to file for bankruptcy, which is a rough situation. So. I mean, I think there's definitely a lot of opportunity out there, especially for buyers. I think refinances are a smart thing to take advantage of.
Yeah.
But I think for the first-time buyer, these next couple months specifically, I think once policies start to get implemented, come January. Because the market now is kind of working on
correcting itself.
It is, but it's working on speculation. Once we start to see stuff get implemented, I think we're going to start to see the market react. The way I think we want it to react, and I think once the rates come down a little bit, we're gonna see a lot of buyers, because I did see something that it was every 1% the rates come down, it's 5 million buyers coming to the market.
Yeah. There will be another refi boom, definitely, once rates start coming down significantly into the fives, especially once it gets into the fives, everyone's gonna wanna refi out of their sevens. For example, from 5 to 7, you're gonna be looking at a savings of about $500-$600 a month.
Yeah, it just depends on the loan amount.
It's tangible.
100%. But I mean, savings on the loan amount, savings on the credit card payments, savings on
honestly,
definitely. The car payment. You probably refinance and pay off the car, so you're paying off less.
Exactly.
Money. So it's definitely something out there that I think that these next 6 to 12 months, I think is going to be really good.
Especially I think in the area that we work in, southeastern Florida or South Florida. I know Tampa's also booming too, but South Florida will continue to boom, will continue to grow. There's a lot of exciting things happening.
I mean, just one thing too. I mean, I know you've been in the business a little bit longer than I have. With this whole NAR thing going on, have you had any issues with that with the current deals going on, or is that kind of something that the realtors have been able to handle pretty well?
Well, psychologically, it has affected a lot of realtors, but at the end of the day, it's a negotiation. So you will negotiate your commission as you go through the process. Sellers are still gonna be willing to pay.
It's more of like an open book now.
It is an open book. It is, a couple of different guidelines that you have to obey. But at the end of the day, it's a negotiation where where you might be able to make more commission. The realtors sometimes now are making more commission than before
Oh,
because of that. You know what I'm saying?
that's crazy.
They can get paid from the seller and the buyer. You know, a buyer's agent could actually get commission from the buyer, separate from the commission that the seller is willing to pay the buying agent. So you could double hand it.
No, definitely. Just, out of curiosity, obviously you've been in the mortgage industry for quite a bit. Do you have any memorable closing stories, at least that's stuck with you that you'll never forget, whether positive, negative, or funny?
Oh, that's
at
a
least
good question.
Your favorite one.
That's a loaded question. Where I don't know. I don't know if I want to share those negative ones. They're all hard. They're all hard. I haven't had an easy closing in a while.
Let's talk about a positive one. Something that you moved mountains or moved oceans to close.
Well, lately I've been noticing that it really depends on your buyer and the relationship that you have with your buyer, or your borrower. Let's say with the borrower. It depends a lot on the personality of the borrower too, how they take things. It could get ugly at the end when they can't get a rate that they want. They expect a certain rate. I don't make the rate.
It'd be a lot easier if we could, but
yeah. Sometimes they're not happy. Sometimes what I like to do, I like to sell them on a realistic expectation. When you set a realistic expectation, what I like to do is at the end of the closing, surprise them with a better rate, less closing fees, and then you become the hero.
No, 100%.
That's what I like to do. But it's tough. It's tough in this market where, it's very competitive. So if you're giving them a realistic interest rate, for example, and then you have Joe Schmo offering them a not realistic expectation, then they'd be like, hey, but I could get that. I was like, and you got to tell them, hey, look, that's not gonna be achievable.
Yeah, no,
it's not realistic,
100%.
And that happens a lot in this
unfortunately,
in this market.
I think we all deal with that one. But agreed, you got to build the rapport with the client, at least build their trust.
Yeah, gain their trust from the beginning. Make sure that they understand that you're not out here to hurt them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, so I guess we'll start wrapping it up. But I also always have a little random question at the end. Comes to obviously you and I crushed the bakery right next door. What is we get our café con leche and we get our pastelito. What is your go-to coffee pastelito or whatever snack, whatever you want to call it? Is it a croqueta or are you an empanada guy?
Bueno, let me tell you, I like to eat early in the morning, and I don't have a croqueta preparada sandwich or I have a pan con bistec at 11 a.m. Because I'm not a big breakfast, so I'll tend to have an early lunch. So at 11 a.m. I'm already eating heavy.
Okay.
That's my go-to for sure.
All right, perfect. But that's today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. Obviously, make sure if you have a cough, get it checked out so we don't have to end up in the hospital. But Edgar, it's great having you on the show.
No, we'll be back. We'll be back.
Until next time, have a good one.